What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. I am your host, Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV. You know I got another banger for you, so kick back, relax, and come take a ride with me.
You are now locked into the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Here is your host, Brandon Blakeney.
Now, we know in my previous video I talked about like the unspoken tension between Cheryl Reeves as well, between her and Caitlin Clark, and it feels like the more that is said, especially after that Liberty game, after that Lynx game versus the Fever, where Caitlin Clark came in and ruined Maya Moore's jersey retirement, got the dub on the home floor of Cheryl Reeve, the head coach of Team USA. Her comments about not giving two craps about Caitlin Clark getting a standing ovation, which obviously you're big mad as the home team. You're retiring Maya Moore's jersey and you have a standing ovation for a visiting player that you left off the Olympic roster to the dismay of many, many people. So there's big energy there. But then on top of that, this comment makes me think there's definitely some bias on why Caitlin was left off the roster. After the game, Reeves was asked by Myron Metcalf on Caitlin Clark's future on the national teams. She said, quote, "Why the hell would I answer a national team question? I'm wearing Lynx, and I'm the head coach of the national team, but I'm not the chair of the committee. Anybody want to venture out into anything else?" Obviously, she's upset. They're 2-2 in their last 4 games. They haven't been playing great. They're missing their MVP caliber player in Nafisa Collier. Not sure when she's going to come back. Not sure she's going to be available for the Olympics. She loses to Caitlin Clark, who gets a standing ovation. And so there's already fans on her rump about that. But then she's been hearing all the noise about leaving Caitlin off this team. The bias that's being shown, picking Diana Taurasi over Clark, when they only have one true point guard on this roster, and that's really Chelsea Gray, who hasn't looked like herself all year. Clark is arguably the best point guard in the entire league right now if we're talking today, and you don't include her on the roster. She goes on the road, gets a standing ovation, and beats you on the night that your franchise is retiring the best player in the history of the franchise's jersey. Maya Moore lifting her jersey into the Raptors, a moment that hits close to home to Caitlin Clark, who idolized Maya Moore growing up, who was a fan of the Minnesota Lynx dynasty led by Cheryl Reeve, Maya Moore, and that Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen, Sylvia Fowles, and all those great players that came through. So this was her first time playing in the Target Center. After being left off the Olympic team, she gets her revenge. Not a hot start. They made it tough for her, but she closed it out in the 4th, beats Cheryl Reeve, and gets the last laugh. On top of that, Reeves is going to have to see her again when Team USA plays the WNBA All-Stars during WNBA All-Star Weekend. Another chance for Caitlin Clark to go 2-0 against Reeves and embarrass her even more, further proving the point that there was a lapse of judgment leaving her off this team. I have mad respect for Cheryl Reeve. She's the longest tenured coach in the league. She deserves to be the head coach of Team USA. She's seen some of the greatest talent. But she has no logistical reason to leave Clark off this roster, man. It makes no sense. And then you look at the injuries. I mean, Diana Taurasi's been banged up. Brittany Griner's been banged up. Nafisa Collier may not even be playing. Like, injuries after injuries after injuries. You got Bree Jones, who's the first alternate for the bigs. You got Caitlin Clark, who is supposed to be the first alternate for the guards if one of these players cannot make it in the backcourt. Reeves doesn't seem at all interested in entertaining the idea of putting Clark on this team, man. And it's nasty behavior. It's real hater energy, and coming from like a Hall of Fame coach, it's like unexplained animosity that she has. Every time she's asked anything about Caitlin Clark, it's like pulling nails. She is visually irritated. And then on top of losing this game in front of Maya Moore and those championship teams, it's embarrassing. You just got embarrassed by a rookie. Yeah, the double-double streak was ruined. It got ceased to exist. Yeah, it was a bad shooting night. Yeah, Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell carried the load. But Clark and Mitchell closed this game out in the 4th. And Team USA should be sending the best possible players, and that would include Clark. There's no reason why she is not on this roster as a true point guard, leading the league in assists as a rookie. Are you kidding me? She's the best passer in the league. Do you know how just the flow of that offense with her leading the way, dishing the rock out, playing with the most talent she's ever played with? Like, it is insane at this point that you are limping into the Olympics and Caitlin Clark isn't getting a call. Could the WNBA All-Star Game be a tryout for Clark? It seems like if Taurasi as well as Reeve have their way, Clark will not be suiting up for Team USA. And a lot of people are upset. People are even talking about boycotting this Olympics. I mean, you have arguably the face of the league, the most popular player, not the best player, but the most popular player in the league. You've got the stage to lay out the path for her to be a global superstar. You know having her on the team will increase ratings. On top of that, at this stage in her career, she is a better player than Diana Taurasi, especially a Taurasi that is not 100%. You're going to put all your point guard duties on Chelsea Gray, who has been the best point guard the last several years, but has not looked like herself at all. They need a legitimate backup point guard. I feel like, honestly, all bias aside, man, because y'all know I keep it real, Clark should be the starting point guard for this group with just the way she's played. Best point guard, leads the league in assists. That's what you want from a guard, to control the tempo. People will complain about the turnovers, but Westbrook, LeBron, Magic, all players with very high usage, not putting Clark in that category, but just her level of usage, you're going to see turnovers. It's going to happen. She's a young guard. The game will slow down, and teammates will stop dropping passes eventually. A lot of you have been very opinionated, saying if they do call at this point, Clark should say no, and that the rest, the 3-week break from basketball, from competitive games, will be much more beneficial, where she can work on that timing and that chemistry with her team. So it'll be interesting to see what Clark ultimately thinks is the best decision for her. But it seems like there is definitely some bias, some stuff going behind the scenes with the head coach Cheryl Reeve, and a reason why she wants nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. It's very strange, and I'm wondering what is the root of it all. Y'all let me know. Holler in the comments. Let me know, is Caitlin Clark being blackballed from Team USA? Y'all let me know. Holler at the comments. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for all the latest and the greatest. I am Brandon Blakeney, aka Brandon Lee TV, your host. This is the Live with Brandon Blakeney podcast. Until next time, we out.